So we were sitting at the dinner table the other night talking about pegging.
What
Okay.
the fuck?
That's not a great way to start.
I only recently
It is.
learned what that was
Okay,
because of my
but you
connection
know,
with porn.
but you know, right? Okay. So then I asked, I would, like I always tease, my family about what do you know about pegging? Just like to, clearly they know what it is. So I like tease them like they're involved in it or something.
Okay.
And so I was like, do you know what sounding is? Right? And so he knew what sounding was. Christine didn't. The reason I know what sounding is because of Guts, the Chuck Palahniuk story.
Ah.
Right?
Okay.
So I guess just getting into psychosexual things, sounding to me isn't too far off of pegging.
I'm gonna need weed for this one.
Okay. So on the way here, for some reason, I brought up Chuck Palahniuk.
We were talking about Fight Club and stuff.
But I think we were only talking about that because I was like, do you know who Chuck Palahniuk is?
I did not know he was gay
on the table
until you brought me to see him
Right.
and meet him
Right.
in Berkeley.
And that's where
Now,
we
don't
started
say
to
no
go.
more.
Right. I didn't know. All I knew was Fight Club.
So we were on our way here when I brought that up. So I said, hold, I want to talk to you with Brandon. Right.
Okay.
So Chuck Palahniuk, you just said,
Fight Club guy.
Fight Club guy. So he's the author of Fight Club, and that was his first book. I know so much about the history of it. But anyways,
Of course.
he's had multiple books, and I've read probably 2/3 of them.
Right.
Survivor, Invisible Monsters, Haunted, Lullaby, like so many, right?
Name dropper.
Yes. So I always tease my family because like they're always like how I tease them about stuff. They always tease me like I have this giant porn collection or something, right? But my thing is I've only bought one Playboy. I had nothing even harder than that. I bought one Playboy in my life, and it's because there was a Chuck Palahniuk short story in it.
Ooh.
Right?
Cool.
Now that's the story that he read when we went to go see him, right? So now, this is what I wanted to pause. I told him that I saw a documentary, because there was a documentary that came out around that time about how people were passing out at his shows.
Correct.
Right?
I witnessed that shit. And it was the third book reading.
Right.
And I witnessed it happen in real time. And the only reason why we witnessed it is because everyone was on the edge of their fucking seat, just listening to words come out of this man's mouth.
So this is where...
And then this fucking bitch passes out.
So this is where...
Timber makes a big-ass conundrum.
This is where sounding comes into play, because sounding is a part of that story. I believe there were 3 stories within that story, and one of them had to do with somebody rolling up some like candle wax. And
oh my God.
So if you don't know what sounding is...
I do know.
Well, you know what? Look it up then. So...
It's probably better if they look it up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So
I'm
then...
gonna throw up a definition like right now.
Yeah, perfect. So then, there was a story about it going into the guy's body. And so blah, blah, blah. And then there was another story about a guy who went into a pool. Do you remember this?
That was the one.
That was the one.
Right.
He went into a pool.
And he's really good at holding his breath.
Please continue.
And he would go down to the deep end where there's a suction induction. And he would go down there and pull his pants down, his swim trunks. And he would masturbate while that thing was sucking on his butthole. And then he would break away. He would do it as long as he could.
You remember everything. I love it.
And he would swim up to the top and gulp for breath.
Right.
Right. And this one particular day, he'd been doing it so much that he was Aquaman.
Uh-huh.
He could fucking Kevin Costner that water.
Mm-hmm.
He could fucking hold his breath a long motherfucking time.
Right.
Creep show. I can hold my breath a long time. So he's
Don't
down
pass
there
out.
and he's edgelording now.
Yeah.
Right? He's about to bust. And he's so excited. And the feeling on his rectum is so great.
Yes.
It's a great relief. This is the greatest ever, right? Okay, so now to foreshadow what had happened. Earlier that day, before the dude went into the swimming pool, he took his multivitamin, right?
You got it.
And the multivitamin has a certain shape and a certain color.
Yes.
Okay? Fast forward now.
Yes.
Right now, we're down. He's at the bottom of the pool. He's ready to come, but he needs a gulp of air. He goes to swim up to the surface, and about a foot before he hits the surface, tug, stop. What the fuck? What's happening? Right? He looks down, and he's connected to a tube going all the way to the suction of the bottom of the pool, and he's running out of air. Panic starts to ensue. What is this? And he looks down, and in the cord, he can see the multivitamin. It slowly starts to dawn on him that his intestines have been sucked out of his ass and are going. That's what's anchoring him down to the bottom of the fucking pool. And he's going to
my God.
he's going to drown. He's a foot away from the surface, and his intestines are fucking oh my God, dude. Right at that, we don't even know what happened because that fucking bitch passed out.
Boom. So I asked him.
And then he starts laughing like Dr. Doom.
Yeah. And
Right?
he goes, it's just words, people.
Right. And then he's like, this is the third book reading, and this is the third time that's happened. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I know why.
Yeah.
And that's also the moment that I realized that casting spells is real.
Oh, sure.
Words are real. They can really hurt you. They can really fuck you up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So like I said, I had heard.
I had to fan the bitch and everything. Man.
I had heard about.
Stood up clapping almost.
I watched that documentary, so I had heard about it happening, right? So before the reading, he was also signing books.
Wait, you knew that people were passing out before we went?
Yeah.
You didn't say shit.
Make sure to like and subscribe and join our Discord and Patreon. Check out our links.
Now back to the show. Just like when you took me to meet Secret Sidewalk, I
guess that's a thing I do.
Who was playing until they were actually started playing. I'm like, oh, it's my favorite fucking group. You fuckface.
So fuck it, tell that story.
Oh my God. That's when I got EBGBs all on my neck. I don't know what.
Well, we don't have to talk about you being diseased.
No, I got fresh shave. And I just got, all this shit. And we go out to Oakland.
Well, so we were hanging out at my house, right? It was like, hey, do you want to come over? We'll watch a movie.
Right.
Right. And then I told you before you were there, we might go on an adventure.
Correct.
Right.
And I'm down for anything.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing basically what I'm wearing right now, sweats.
Yeah.
And a hoodie.
And so I'm waiting to hear back from my buddy because he said that he would put us on the guest list if we could make it out. So I was waiting to hear from him.
Now, I don't know this.
Right.
And I'm talking with Christine, your wife.
Yeah.
And I think we're about to watch fucking Late Night with the Devil
or
Part
Swiss
2.
Army Man or some
right.
shit.
Right. Some weird ass fucking movie.
Yeah.
Swiss Army Man. Jesus Christ.
So I'm texting with Mike. I'm like, yo, is there still room on the guest list? Like we could come out. So
Mike Reed, the drummer.
Yes. So we've been waiting. I was waiting to hear from him. And in that time, you're just thinking we're watching a movie. So then we're smoking weed in the backyard.
Right.
And then I'm like,
surprise.
We're going somewhere.
Right.
We're going to Oakland. And you were like, what? You were like, I'm in my sweats, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not going to matter this time.
Right.
And you were, we're going to Oakland. You honestly were like, do I need to go home and change? I need to go home and change?
Right.
And I was like, no, I think you're good.
But I got my my bat fanny pack.
Yeah.
With everything in it.
Yes.
So I'm ready to
yeah.
go.
So I don't tell him where we're going.
Right.
Except for we're going to Oakland. So,
Right.
We get to Oakland and we're walking up to the club after
found parking rather easily.
Well, I was gonna say after we drove around the block 3 times.
Yeah, but
it's
still,
because we were
Saturday night.
It was because we were turning right. It was the first time we turned left, where it was like boom.
3 rights make a left. But I'm with you because it did happen.
Yes.
Right. So we walk up to the joint,
and I'm like, oh, here's Mike Reed right here.
Right, but you don't have to say that because I've been drawing this motherfucker.
Right.
For the last couple of weeks doing your Life of Grime, Son of Mustard shit.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, wait a minute, I know that dude. I've been drawing the fuck out of him. Right. And so we meet and all of that. It's still not dawning on me what's happening.
Right.
Because it's a little tiny art house.
Right.
And so we're going to see fucking Secret Sidewalk. Now, for those people that don't know, I'm an entertainer. in the East Bay of the Bay Area, nestled in the foothills of Mount Diablo, right? And I start all of my shows with this particular instrumental band, Secret Sidewalk,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know them. I only know the music through you.
Right.
And now here I am. And not only am I here, you're friends with them all.
Right. But at
And
this
I get
point,
to meet them all.
But at this point, you didn't even know it was Secret Sidewalk.
I didn't even fucking know.
So-
Now we go in, and because I know that he just released his own drum shit.
Yes.
Right?
Maximalist minimalisms.
Correct. I got
So
it.
Michael Reed,
It's an oxymoron. It's like
it
saying
goes.
jumbo
He's
shrimp.
going by Reed Michaels. He's got an album called Maximalist Minimalisms. It's a drum album, but it's so much more than that.
It could
I
be a
urge
car
you to
ride.
check it out.
Correct.
It's very, even though it's a drum album, it's super listenable.
right.
It
like,
doesn't sound
from
like
beginning to end.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like someone playing, here's loop number 54. Boop. Now here's loop number 55.
Correct.
It's very listenable. It's very artfully done. You
So-
did good.
So this guy brings me to the show. I'm talking to fucking Mike Reed right then and there.
So you thought we were there because he just released that.
Correct. And I
Yeah.
think we're going to get to watch this. So I'm telling him the only thing that I know about the album is that it's very listenable
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a soundtrack.
Yeah.
And he was like he lit up. He was like, "How? Now you really think so?"
Yeah.
Right? So we're
And that
talking-
was your first time meeting him.
right.
Yes.
Now, meanwhile, I don't know it, but fucking Puzzle
Mm-hmm.
is like eating chips out of a bag.
Yeah.
And some weird ass dude, like my doppelganger, he came in. He's like, yeah, right? He
Yes.
did the whole thing. He basically had the mustache. Anybody want to smoke weed
Yeah.
or like eat edibles or whatever, right?
That thing.
He did
Mhm.
exactly, right? He's a ham doing his whole thing. And then we go inside and I see merch for maximum minimalism,
Sure.
right? And the little drum kit sticker,
Yes.
right? But then there's Secret Sidewalk. And I'm like, what? Hey, right? And that's when
Yes.
you start introducing me to everybody.
Yeah.
And that was fucking insane. I was fangirl, of
Yep,
that
yep, yep.
shit. And yeah, and they have no idea.
But how? Boom, boom. Keep making.
They don't
noise.
even know who I am.
Right.
But Mike Reed did. He's like, oh wait,
Yeah, because he knows.
Oh, you're the
someone
guy
has been
drawing
drawn.
us, right.
Exactly.
yeah. He like it's
But
weird.
how good are Secret Sidewalk?
They're the best.
No, I mean, maybe I'm lame, but
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
know of anybody doing anything like what they're doing.
When I first came to your house and we decided we were going to start doing this, and we didn't even decide we're going to do this yet.
No, we were
it was
just hanging out.
organically
Yeah.
forming. You were like, listen to this is the future of music for no reason.
Right.
And you put on Descrambler. And I immediately went, what the fuck is this? And it did something to my brain.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. This is the greatest shit ever. And I fell in love with it right then and there.
Right.
And I've been playing it nonstop, especially every one of my shows.
Mhm.
Because I want that experience for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Right? And now I've timed it so that I tell everyone to relax, shake out all
Mhm.
of that. And I'm like, all right. And that's when it goes beep boop. And the music comes in, the
Right.
beat drops on the one. I'm BINDU and
Mhm.
all of that shit. Right.
Right.
And it just works so well. And then it goes into harp.
Mhm.
And now I'm explaining
Which is
people
my favorite
how to
Secret
play,
Sidewalk song.
which is the perfect tempo for hand and wrist and shoulder, all of that, right?
Mhm.
And so now here I am actually meeting the dudes. And I'm trying to be fucking cool about it. But god damn it.
Yeah.
What a nerd.
So I did that to you then, and I did that to you with Chuck Palahniuk. What
Right.
will the next one be? That's
I
the
don't know,
question.
but that night you had never had raw oysters.
True.
And you fucking sucked those fucking down. Like
They were delicious.
I like Alice in Wonderland. The walrus. He eats them all and he doesn't share. Yeah, he ate them all. He didn't share. No, I had like 2. It was great.
No. You bought a dozen,
Mhm.
and I made sure that you ate more. I think you had 7 and me 5.
Well, you bought the dozen. I had to fucking pay you back. Well, I went
But
to buy
you
the
paid
dozen.
me back,
Let me
yeah.
tell you what happened, right? I go to pay. Well, remember, I'm a gig worker. And I just got done paying everything. I was feeling good about myself. But I barely had any money,
Mhm.
right? And I'm like, who cares? I can think, I can fast, I can wait, sit hard for the whole shit.
Right.
And you're like, we're going to Oakland. We're what? Right? So said I
Sure.
had forgotten. So now I was thinking, all right, now if I buy these oysters, I may have 75 cents to my
That's
name.
another layer that I didn't know.
And I was like, maybe I shouldn't do it. And you're like, you just slapped your card out there, like, my heterosexual life mate. And fucking booyah. Not only did he pay for the oysters, he ate them with a smile on his face. I never could have been prouder. It was awesome.
They
And
were delicious.
when I look over to the side, just 2 yards away, Secret Society, they were like talking to groupies.
Sidewalk, you did it again.
I keep doing it. Secret Society.
Yeah, I think you did it to them right after we were leaving.
For sure I did. It's Secret Sidewalk.
Yes.
Secret Sidewalk. I read too many comics, man. That Secret Society shit.
Primal Dab.
Primal
That's the
Dab.
album.
The first song is Descrambler, and then it goes into harp, and it's a perfect unison.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, whatever, man. That was incredible. So yeah, you like to spring shit on people,
I guess so.
and you don't like to tell nobody what's going on. There's something very fucking serial killer about that.
That's awesome to hear.
Let's go get burritos.
So
Have you ever seen Human Centipede? Like,
well, I asked you a while ago, a couple weeks ago,
right?
like of all of our friends, who would be the serial killer?
You.
And you were like, me. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, without doubt, it would be you. Yeah.
You know, there's bodies in the shed.
Okay, now let me tell you what happened.
That's where the
There is
episode
not
should cut.
bodies in
With
the
Walt,
show.
no, you don't cut like this. When you went and took that phone call and you were fucking giving the what for to who's his name,
Yeah.
right? I looked at him and I'm like, he's very aggressive today, right? Right? And this is gonna be good on film or whatever. And somehow it got to that crazy shit, and he just goes, I still haven't checked the shit.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so good.
And then you came in and you're like, all right,